What is going on, Philly fans? Welcome into the Philly Friday Frenzy here with Big Al on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. And we got to do a little talking. We have to have a conversation here, Philly. I'm confused. Maybe we all can help each other out tonight. Kind of settle the conversation, whatever you want to call it. But we have to talk about things, and we're going to talk. It's going to be very Phillies and Eagles centric. We'll touch on some of the other stuff. But are we Philly fans, not Phillies, but Philly, Eagles, Phillies, whatever? Are we like the bad girlfriend or boyfriend in the relationship? Like, I want to know that. Like, are we? This is like a lot of been going on, a lot of drama. It's just so drama driven, and obviously, hence why the big names. And Adam, happy Friday to you as well, my brother. A lot of drama has been going on between the Eagles with Jeff Stoutland, with the whole offensive coaching staff turnover. Will Lane Johnson come back? Will Lane and Dickerson come back? What's the future going to hold? Is A.J. Brown going to be here? The Phillies, Nick Castellanos. Is the Phillies' fault? Is it Castellanos' fault? Is it Topper's fault? And now Rhys Hoskins' name is coming back into it. And this is what I mean by are we the problem here? And not to say we're a problem, because I guess, and I've said this before, when it comes to being one of the most passionate fan bases on planet Earth, so I guess it's kind of you have to have your good and your bad with it. But the Rhys Hoskins thing, how it has gone all over the place, it's mind-boggling. And what do I mean by that? So Devin Caney came out today and says, sources tell me Bryce Harper has been advocating for more right-handed power and someone who can give the Phillies more emotional edge / swagger. I'm told Harper suggests Dave Dombrowski look into a reunion with Rhys Hoskins, who remains a free agent. I'm told Hoskins is game. Of course Hoskins is game. He's unemployed. This is all transpired within the last week, I'm told. So I like Rhys Hoskins. Let me just start that, number one. I like Rhys Hoskins. Really, I liked him. I liked the energy he had as a human being. But as a player, he was frustrating beyond all belief at times. He could knock the cover off a ball. He could do it back to back to back at times. But then it is colder than the other side of the pillow with him. His on versus off is it's drastic. It's drastic. And we all knew that. We all knew that going into that with him. Like that was, I think I used the term, and I've heard a lot of other people say at the time, I'm tired of the Rhys Hoskins experiment. It's not working out. He's a good player, but he's not a great player. He's defensively a liability. So we don't have a spot for him in DH. And even at DH, he ain't that good. But now we want him back. And I see people all over Twitter crucifying me a little bit, as well as I will do anything to get Rhys Hoskins back in a Phillies uniform. Why? When he was probably the same people when he was here wanted him gone because they were tired of his stuff. They're tired of the way streakiness, tired of him not being really good defensively. What does Rhys Hoskins bring? Let's just go through the numbers first, go through what we lived through with him already, and we got to stop. We're like those boyfriends or girlfriends when we're in a relationship, we don't respect the person when they're here, or we see the problems, and then we want them gone, and we finally break up with them, and then a year or two later, we're sitting there pining after them. The Wolverine meme where he's holding the picture frame, right? Like, it's bad. And it's exhausting. Like, I don't get it. Adam saying, I saw Harper wanted Rhys Hoskins back, but Dombrowski said he wasn't a fit for the team. I have to agree with Dombrowski in this one. Where does Rhys Hoskins fit? And then I hear people saying Bryce Harper chased Rhys Hoskins out of here. Now he wants him back? Rhys Hoskins chased Rhys Hoskins out of this organization. Where could he play? He can't play the outfield. I know Harper had to play up first base, but okay. You want to use that as an example? Fine, we'll talk about that. He's a much better defensive first baseman than Rhys Hoskins ever was. How many times did we lose a game because of Rhys Hoskins blooping the ball, kicking it? He was probably worse than Casty from a streaky standpoint. Adam, we got one guy out here who was very streaky. Now, part of it was his emotional disorder in my eyes. And that's the other thing we're going to talk about, too. Okay, we're going to get into that, too, with the Nick Castellanos thing. And not about him leaving or being a Padre and all that stuff. But there's a part of this conversation that leads into that. But he's probably streakier than Castellanos was with us. He wasn't as much of a locker room distraction, but much from a X's and O's and a baseball standpoint, much streakier. But what I want to know, why are we romanticizing about having Rhys Hoskins back? And where does he fit? Because obviously Bryce isn't going back to right field. Garcia's there. And we don't have a DH spot because Kyle Schwarber's there. And you just signed him to $150 million. So where does Rhys Hoskins fit in here? A bench player? For a streaky guy who's not known for being a off-the-bench player? Let's just look at his numbers since he left the Phillies. He's played 2 years in Milwaukee. He signed a 2-year, $34 million contract when he left here, right? And they just paid him $4 million to get out of town. They just paid him $4 million to say, Milwaukee said, nope, we're good. Thank you, Rhys Hoskins. Thank you for your time here. So let's just look at his numbers. 2024, right? 131 games, 214 batting average, 26 home runs, 82 RBIs, a 7.22 OPS. He tied a franchise record with 3 grand slams and had a career-high 14-game hitting streak. Okay, not so bad, not so great. Nothing to write home about. 2025, he got injured, so he missed like 2 months, I think it was. We'll look at that. 90 games, a 237 batting average, only 12 home runs, but you subtract that out, it probably balances out a little bit. 43 RBIs, that's in half, almost. He only missed 2 months. And a 748 OPS. Missed 2 months due to a thumb injury and lost his starting position to Andrew Vaughn. So, why do we want him back? He does not fit anywhere. And I see the answer in the comments. And I'm not bashing on you, Adam, here, but I still loving watching the fat flip after the home run against Strider. Yes, that's what they're in love with. I use this as an example. I always kind of used to joke around with my wife. We have 4 kids, for those who don't know. I have 4 children. And my wife, when we were talking about having kids, and I said, honey, you're in love with babies. You like babies. When they're tiny little things and they're cute in this short little moment in time in their life. But when they grow up, you forget that they turn into children. Everybody loves the bat flip. Do you remember what led up to the bat flip? Why we got so electric about the bat flip? Because he was cold as ice. We were asking for his job during that 2022 run. Right? But then he got really hot. But then he got really cold again. He followed his normal suit. It's just like when Nick Castellanos made a big play out in right field. Why do we get excited? Because any good right fielder can do it. Because Nick Castellanos did it. It was fun, and it was a little of a juggling job, but whatever. Literally nowhere for Rhys Hoskins to play here. Elephant in the room. What's going on, buddy? By the way, good to see you. Yeah, where do we put him? Where do we want to put a guy for over the last 2 years has a 223 batting average? He's a defensive liability wherever you put him. So you can't I don't see him coming off the bench being any better for him. Where does Rhys Hoskins want? No, duh, he wants to come back. He wants to try to refine that electric that he had too. But overall, I like Rhys Hoskins, but I'm not blinded about Rhys Hoskins. It was a struggle bus with him a lot of times. And I know his wife bought fans beers and all that. That was cool. That's why I like him. He was definitely a Philly guy from a personality standpoint. But there's nowhere to put him. And you want to bring back a guy who was not, they'd rather sign 18 instead of $18 million, which it's a lot, but not a lot for a good player this day and age. So here's $4 million. Here's your papers. See you later, Rhys Hoskins. You want to bring him back for a league minimum and put him on the bench? Sure. I don't know how that helps anybody. When you're looking for a guy who has pop in his bat, he's right-handed, and he can have pop occasionally, but he'll be like popcorn where there's nothing but kernels and a handful of popcorn floating around. Not a lot. Ian's saying maybe third base. I'm sorry, but I'd rather have Alec Bohm. I would rather have Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm knows how to play third base defensively a lot better, and he can hit better than Rhys Hoskins. Why in the hell would I want to put him out there? And for whatever reason, if we trade Alec Bohm, I'd rather see Otto Kemp or Amundo Sosa playing full time and keep the seat warm for Ada Miller. Like, honestly, that's what I would rather see. Why would I want to add another layer to the third base when that's not where we're struggling right now? As long as you don't put him in the 5-hole or 4-hole. Good evening, Robert. What is going on, buddy? We don't want Hoskins back. We don't. Me and you don't. Maybe some other guys here don't. I don't know. But according to social media, I would do anything to have Rhys Hoskins back in a Phillies uniform. We are the worst relationship for people and athletes. Like I'm saying, I'm using that maybe coming a week off of Valentine's Day. We all have had bad relationships, or call them toxic relationships. We've had them. Where it wasn't good. There was nothing good that was coming out of this. It wasn't going to end well. But we all were over Rhys Hoskins. Nobody was really blinking an eye when he was leaving to go to Milwaukee, right? No. But now Milwaukee dumped him. And we want him? Why? It's not like Milwaukee dumped him because he was hitting too many home runs or hitting with too many men in scoring position. They dumped him because he's not worth it. He's a liability defensively, and he's an okay Major League Baseball player at best. Where does he fit? That's the problem I'm saying. And then the Nick Castellanos, we're going to talk about that a little bit. What I'm going to talk about is not about Nick Castellanos, not about if he was a cancer, if it was his problem, or Rob Thompson, a Phillies organization handling wrong. There's all things can be true in that factor. But I have seen more people putting videos up there of the minute pieces of him playing first base. And oh my God, he dove and got the ball, and he caught it, and he threw it to the guy at first base, and he got out, and we're so, look how he's doing really good. No, he made one play in spring training at first base, and we're all stroking him. We're all upset and sitting there crying, maybe we should have got rid of him. Yes, he didn't want to be here. He was a problem. It was for the best. Sometimes you just need to go. You know, and I'm glad he's having a good time. I'm glad San Diego's having a good time, but everybody's out there sharing it. All these Philadelphia ones, Philadelphia people are like, oh, well, he's doing pretty good. February 20th, guys. Relax. Yeah, third base. No, not at all. I'm not even sure I would move Bryce to the outfield for him if the outfield had an opening. I mean, if we were just hurting, like somebody got injured and you had to move Bryce to the outfield and we had no other choice, then fine. Rhys Hoskins is a good backup. You know, he's like your backup date to the prom. You know, that's not your cousin. Elephant in the room. Maybe that's it. But why? Oh, why? I don't get it. Excuse me. My voice is a little strained today. I don't get it. Why do we romanticize over guys like Rhys Hoskins? We chase people out of town. Then we sit there and like a jilted girlfriend, and we watch the videos online of them doing fun things like as stalking somebody's Instagram. Look at, they're on vacation with their new boyfriend. Look what they're doing. They're going out to dinner. He never took me there. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's like. And that's why guys like Emmanuel Acho and all the other big national names and pundits out there, that's why they come after Philly like they do. They go after Jalen Hurts. They go after AJ Brown. Is AJ Brown going to be here? Because, like a jilted girlfriend, we're going to Instagram stalk the shit out of them. That's why. We fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker. The fact that it was a conversation on sports radio. And the fact that, fine, I'm not saying you don't kick the tires. A due diligence of a good manager and even a player in Bryce Harper's thought process, you kick the tires, but where do you put him? And then the fact that we say that Bryce, funny thing is, 2 years later, Bryce is advocating for him to come back, but he chased him out of here. Reese Hoskins chased Reese Hoskins out of here. Reese Hoskins hasn't done anything. He didn't do anything to want to sit there and go, oh no, I don't want the Brewers to take him. We're going to be losing so much. We didn't lose anything. Did we get worse when Reese Hoskins left? Anybody? No. Did we get better defensively at first base? Absolutely. So because Bryce Harper did a better job, he chased him out of here? No. Reese Hoskins chased himself out of here. He was a guy on a team when there was no other player before Bryce Harper. And then here we go. Here comes in Bryce. Here comes Nick Castellanos. Here comes Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner. I know Trey Turner wasn't around. But my point is we kept adding in Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. All these guys were doing better at their positions. Reese Hoskins wasn't. We got excited in the playoffs because that was an electric time. I remember I was in the stands and in the press box for all those games in 2022. I was there. I get it. The in the Parker with JT, the bat flip, I was there. I get it. But that is no reason for a moment, a series, a handful of at-bats in 2022 in the playoffs when this team was electric to keep a man or want him to come back. And he hasn't done anything since. He would be picked up if he was that good or even remotely good. He is going to be somebody's backup prom date, meaning somebody gets hurt and they need a right-handed batter or a first baseman who can possibly have some pop in his bat, maybe, or somebody who does, or maybe like the Marlins or the Pirates or the Rockies or some middling team who just needs to fill in a gap somewhere. Sure. Reese Hoskins is all about coming back. Of course he is. No matter all the BS we've been dealing with the Phillies over the last however long and how they exited again in the playoffs, they're still a good team. Are they ready to get over the hump? Yeah, that'd be wait to be seen on that one. I'm not betting the house on it, that's for sure. But ultimately, he's not the guy. And I'm not saying you're going to go look for the guy, the superstar guy. I just want a consistent hitter. I don't need another all or nothing strikeout or home run guy. We have plenty of those. Reese Hoskins is the anti what we need right now. You know, and we're like the girlfriend going, like their friends are like, hey guys, I'm thinking about getting back with my boyfriend. You mean the one who was really mean to you and made you pay for dinner all the time and never took you anywhere nice and didn't call you on a birthday and never wanted to meet your mom or anything like that? You're going to go out with that guy again? Well, I mean, he was sweet at times. He wasn't as bad as you guys say he was. Where do you put him? How does that work out? Why do we romanticize over somebody like Reese Hoskins? Again, nothing personal. We need a guy who's going to come out and put bat to ball and spray it around the field. I don't need a guy who can only reach it over the wall or nothing at all. We got that. We need pray and spray guys. That's what we need. Guys who swing and put the ball into play. He is the opposite of what we need. We need stability. We don't need that one guy that we had a good couple weeks with and things were really great and then it was cold. That's what the problem is. Like, I don't get it. I sit here and I research these shows, and all that research does is make me angry, just annoyed beyond all belief. You're saying keep Bohm, Rob. Are you saying keep Bohm like past this year, or just Bohm over Reese Hoskins at third base? That's what I want to know. Jose, what's up, buddy? Hoskins is probably going to end up playing in Japan, possibly, for guys who like him go, who need a resurgence, when other Major League Baseball teams aren't picking him up. That's what he might need. Maybe, the change in scenery, we always say, like, for a guy who he has the ability to, but the problem is, even when he's at his best, 14 game hitting streak. We saw that one in 2024. But when he was with the first year with the Brewers, that's great. That's grand. That's it. I'm sure if you took the 40 games before and after, it was real streaky. Can't hang your hat on that. If we're going to learn anything from the Dodgers, first part, retreads is all we've been doing lately. And listen, Aaron Nola was the best pitcher at the time available when we signed him to his big contract, so it is what it is on that one. But then Kyle Schwarber, you locked up your DH spot. We could have really used that with JT and Bryce, and got somebody else who could play first base full time. Maybe Polar Bear would have been a good spot for that. I don't know. It's just now that just exactly at this point, he's not the guy we need. And we're not the place Reese Hoskins needs. He needs a place he's going to play every day, and he has a chance to be not streaky. Yes, Bohm over Hoskins. Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's just, yeah. Why not? Like, it's ridiculous. Nina, what's going on, Nina? Matt said you were doing a show in a hot tub tonight. I wish. That'd be awesome. That's not a bad idea. Just gotta get myself a hot tub. Until I go borrow a friend's or something, go in a hot tub there. Be a little hard to I have to get like a wireless mic on my ears, Nina, for that one, because you don't want like too many electronic components around heat and hot water. It's not good. Maybe this is Matt romanticizing about me in a hot tub, which now I'm really nervous because nobody, even I, don't want to see me in a hot tub. But I don't get it. The retweets of, ooh, look at Nick Castellanos out there making one play at first base on the 20th of February. Cool. It's just like, look at Aiden Miller hit one ball out to like way in outfield, a huge home run on BP in February 18th. Like, pump the brakes. Now, listen. That kind of stuff gets me ready for baseball, get that warm, tingly feeling. Like, that's what I love about, spring training. I get that, even though I'm stuck in cold and we have a pending nor'easter coming this weekend. That's what it is, but I can still get that warm feeling. It could be 10 inches of snow outside, and I can have the Phillies on in Clearwater on Sunday. That's awesome. That's exciting. And that's fine with that if that's what the Bryce Harper BP videos get you. They get you excited. That's okay. That's fine. But it shouldn't be the reason you re-sign somebody. And if Bryce is sitting there getting re-signed, talk about a retread. Do you know what that looks like to me? And I'm not saying Bryce is doing this, but do you know what it just smells like to me? It's like a garage band trying to find a new bassist or a lead singer or drummer or something, or whatever, and they don't want to get anybody that's too good. They want to get somebody who's actually a little less than good, so it doesn't make the rest of them look bad. You know what I mean? It's when you're a 7 and you want to stand next to a 5, so you look like an 8 or a 9. That's what that sounds like to me. And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it really is, because Reese Hoskins isn't good. He's just not good right now. He hasn't been good in a while. So the fact that we're romanticizing, that's the same video that Adam mentioned in his comment. It's that bat flip. It's that bat spike, or whatever you want to call it, when he just spiked it on the ground because he finally got off the schneid in 2 series, or a series and a half, or whatever it was. Didn't get a hit the whole series before in St. Louis. And then he took them halfway through until he got home for the first part in the Philly and the Brave series. And to finally break out of his shell for the rest of that series and a little bit into the Padres series. And that's it. That was it. We forget about these things. You know, I get grief when I talked about when, you know, they were celebrating the 2001 Sixers 25th anniversary. And I was like, we forget Allen Iverson was first of all, Allen Iverson's a great player. I'm not Reese Hoskins, Allen Iverson thing, but kind of somewhat the romanticizing of Philly sports. We forget all the problems we had with Allen Iverson. That this team could have been better. Now, listen, the Sixers could have done a better job of putting better players around Iverson to give us a better chance of winning a championship back during his time. Ish Kabibbles is better than everyone else. John Phillips. Ish Kabibbles is very good. Better than everyone else? They could be top 5. I don't know if they're number 1. It's a conversation. It's not a bad conversation. We're not going to have it right now, but yeah, you're not wrong. You're up there. You're up there. But Allen Iverson was a problem. I'll give you an example. I was at a Sixers game back in 2001. Or no, was it 2001? So I was just 21. So it would have been a few years ago after that. A couple of years after that. I went to Atlantic City. We left the Sixers game a little early because they were getting just doors blown off them. And I got down to Atlantic City, and there's Allen Iverson getting out like minutes after I got there. So he left the game early. Yeah. We forget he was a problem. Practice. Not practice, I'm sorry. Yeah, practice. Yeah, practice. I mean, like that's my thing is like if he was smarter and not egotistical as Ian's pointing out, this could have been a different situation. They almost traded him. I mean, Pat Croce he's like, I have a trade in hand. All I have to do is sign on the dotted line and submit this paperwork, and you're done. You're out of here, bro. You want to go wherever he was, threatening to send him? I mean, he's still one of the greats. Don't get me wrong, and he could have been better if it wasn't for himself and all the money he spent, the money his family spent. That's why he doesn't have a lot of money now. He should. Joe Hal, what is going on, my friend? But my point is, we romanticize as Philly sports fans. We remember the small iotas of things like, 2008 Phillies. That wasn't all sunshine and roses for them. Some of our good pitching, Myers was sent down to the minors in like late June, early July. Joe, I will probably be opening up the phone lines very shortly. So for anybody who wants to join in, I'll give you the brief of my brief. You don't have to use your camera. You can just use the audio. So if you do it from your phone, I just ask no background music, noise, TVs, people, whatever. Just you and me conversating, calling in. And if you want to have your video on, we could do that as well. It's up to you. The minute something goes awry, I have to dump you. That's just the way it is. But and then depending on how many people pop on, I'm going to keep it brief in conversation and move along. But yes, I will be opening the phone lines, Joe. That is my ultimate plan, in the not too distant future. But I'm saying, we are the problem a little bit, and that's why, like I said, Scam Newton, Emmanuel Acho, Nick Wright or Wrong or whatever you want to call them. Those guys, they go after Philly because all you have to do is say our name in a good or a bad way, and we're going to come after you in a good or a bad way. Hey, they said Philly. They love Philly. They love us. That's perfect. Wait a minute. They say Philly's the worst fan base? F those guys. Like, if you want clicks, go after Philly. That's all you have to do. That's why major media like major radio in Philly, like WIP 97.5. That's what they do. They they rage bait or say something, and I'm going to go after this person, and they get upset. And then they know they're going to get clicks and shares, and they're going to get people sharing. Look at this video. Look at this moron talking about Philly. They don't know nothing about Philly. And then they got what they wanted. They don't care if we call them moron or if we comment on their video and tell them that shut the F up. They don't care. That's hubris on our account to think that we think you think Scam Newton's losing his sleep tonight because I'm calling him Scam Newton. I don't think so. So I'm tired of hearing about Nick Castellanos. We got to move on. Stop sharing his videos. Stop caring about what he's doing. Stop paying attention to him. He is no longer Philly. And I'm going to steal line. I hope, Nina, if you're still listening and you're with Matt right now, I'm giving him the credit. We always say it's about the jersey, the name on the jersey, not the back, but the front. The Phillies, the Eagles, I will back you up to a point, but when you're not doing well, I'll point it out. But you're out of here, bro. Good, bad, or indifferent. If I agree with it or disagree with it, you're out of here. Why in the hell do I care about what you're doing in the Padres? The Padres, it's the best thing. That Nick Castellanos and Padres situation works for both of them. Think about it. They're only paying him league minimum, so we're on the hook for his other $19+ million. Maybe that change of scenery is good for him. A market where a bunch of dorks, 30 fans, who cares? I got more people in my chat than I got Padres fans. Total. We all remember that stupid video. We all make fun of it consistently. My God, that the news allowed them to do that. Like, wouldn't they say, "Can we see the dance, the song first before we put it out?" Nope. Train wreck sounds great to me. I'm just saying, like, it's perfect for them. They're not going to have the heat of the Philly media. He's not going to have after they're done asking the questions about what do you miss about Philly and all that stuff, or what do you wish you could have accomplished in Philly or whatever. After the next week or two, they're not going to even ask him that, and it's going to be all on his merit. And maybe that's the place for him to kind of find his mojo. I don't think he will, because I just think he's a little egotistical, kind of going back. Like but at least Allen Iverson could back it up. I don't think he's not 20. We paid him. We overpaid him. He is not $20 million a year man. Maybe if he figures that out and humbles himself, he can become the $20 million man. But we got to move on from him. If we talk about AJ, and I'm going to open up the lines. I'm going to post right now. So for those who don't know, and it's new to you, you'll be seeing the comments pop up. And have a link, and you'll pop in the bottom. And like I said, either you can just do audio only or video and audio. I have my rules. I gave you my rules, and we'll go from there. So it's in there. I will give you guys a moment to come in. We will talk a little bit about the Eagles. Again, I'm over KP. Capitulo's gone. Thanks for nothing. See you later. I'm on to Sean Mannion. I want to see what Mannion can do. I'm actually a little excited to see what he can do. Maybe we'll finally get a guy who will stick around for another couple of years. Maybe be the heir apparent to Nick Sirianni, God only knows. Who can really bring that Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, Cliff Kingsbury type offense with a lot of motion and just misdirection that we've needed, and it will allow people to flourish like AJ Brown. And let's get over AJ Brown right now. Like, let's look towards the future. What is the draft going to look like? What's free agency going to look like? Are they going to have to restructure a lot of contracts? Which I think they will. I think Jalen Hurts gets an extension, and they'll restructure to the point that saves them about $10 million off the top. Something like that. I don't know. There is rules that they can do, and depending on how early before they restructure, the tight end position is going to be, are they going to be able to afford what they're looking at, and how the Eagles are like attached to like every free agent known to man this year, whatever. But one man, my tried and true man, Joe Hal here. I'm going to bring him on right now. He is the man about town. Let's bring him on. Joe, what is going on, my friend?
How are you?
Living the dream. By the way, loving that WrestleMania shirt. That is cool. Can we see
I'm a
that?
big wrestling fan. So,
I knew that. Is that what was that from? Is that like a recent WrestleMania or is that like an old like retro shirt?
so it's an old retro shirt. They saw that calls for $5.
That's cool. See, I could rock that. So, like, just not to get off on a wrestling tangent, but I used to love wrestling as a kid. Probably haven't watched it much since the early 2000s. I went to WrestleMania 15 here in Philadelphia when it was here. But I like the old school wrestling. I couldn't tell you anybody who wrestles nowadays.
It's all good. I want to start by the Phillies. Um, who do you think deserves a spot on the bench?
All the bench spots or just one bench
All the
spot?
bench spots.
I mean, Amundo Sosa, obviously. He can play pretty much almost anywhere in the infield. Plus, when he has backed up guys who got injured like Trey Turner, he has done very well. Done a yeoman's job actually of back better than just backing up. He's pretty much allowed Trey's numbers to continue when he was injured for a few weeks straight. I think Otto Kemp deserved it. Wouldn't be not even seen a Rinconis come up in there. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Johan in there for a backup center fielder, especially while Crawford's getting his feet wet.
That's when you're wrong. I don't see Rakonis making a team.
I didn't say I see it, but I would love to see it. I said I would like to see it. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I can see it happening possibly if he really continues the way he started last year.
I can see Dylan Moore making it.
Dylan Moore, he's a good one. I kind of keep forgetting he's on the team. To be honest with you, people don't put enough stake in the bench players because you need bench players like I just said, like Amundo Sosa, who can come off a bench and be a player. Like that's a special trait. Not just like, okay, well, he's good enough to be a really good bench player, but not good enough to play every day in Major League Baseball. It's an ability to be not in play for days or maybe even weeks at a time and then come up and hit like you haven't missed a beat.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And then that brings me to the backup catcher. Stubbs is out of options, but I'd rather go Marchand.
Health-wise, 100%, and actually everything-wise. I think Rafael Marchand. I think it's Rafael Marchand's job to lose. Yeah. In this case, I don't think they are sold on Stubbs unless Stubbs comes out of left field and just starts raking it in the spring training and is just like gunning dudes out at second base and everything. And don't be surprised if you see both of them going out of their way to do so to make sure nobody steals on them during spring training because it's like having a briefcase full of money in the middle of the table and two guys on either side. Only one guy's taking it home.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think Stubbs is like a guy people are going to be pining after. So I think all Marchand has to do is not completely screw this up. And I would hope to see him get a little bit more play like we thought we were going to get from him last year. Maybe throw him in the rotation a little bit more, especially on long weeks where there's no breaks for 10 or more days at a time. But we'll find out.
Nola already asked to if Marchand can catch him some games already.
I think that's true. And plus, here, listen, let's be honest. Where was Stubbs all last year?
Party down in Lehigh Valley.
He was here. This is where he was. Okay, he was an Iron Pig, so he would have to really show up and show out to snag that backup spot.
Yes,
and nothing against my Iron Pigs, dude. I'm probably gonna head out to Jersey to go see the Blue Claws play. Whenever the Blue Claws, because for those who live in the Philadelphia area, especially, I'm in Delaware County. So if you're,
close to you.
Yeah, so Wilmington Blue Rocks play right in off of 95, right at the borderline of Philly and on 95, by the border of PA and Delaware. And they play the Blue Claws a lot, and usually for like days in a row. So it's a great way to see the Philly or the Blue Claws play if you can't make it out, all the way up Central Jersey.
So I'm moving to Malvern, and
Oh, are you?
yes.
Oh, where do you live now? How far? Like, how much of a move is that now?
2 hours. I'm in Jersey,
Oh, you're in Jersey. Oh, you're like North Jersey,
South Jersey.
South Jersey. Okay.
But
All right, Malvern. Yeah, you're gonna be close by to me now. I'm in Springfield. I live in Springfield now, so from here to Malvern is about 15, 20 minutes, depending on where you're in Malvern you're going. But yeah, I mean, if for those who are like, that's a great way if you want to watch, and it's cheap and it's easy, and you
that's what I'm going to do.
Park a block. You can park like 5 feet away from the stadium and not have to hike 100. Pay $42 the park. So yeah, I mean, it's a great way of doing it, and also, like I said, you can drive an hour and go watch the Iron Pigs play, depending on where you live. It's a great time. We used to do what's that, Six Flags? Because Six Flags is about 10 minutes away from that stadium. So like we would stay overnight, do Six Flags day one, and then day two catch an Iron Pigs game, stay overnight, and then leave. Dorney Park, yes, Dorney Park, Six Flags. Dorney. I think it's all owned by the same anymore. They're all the same. But yeah, no, like I think it's Marshawn's job to lose if he doesn't want it. I really am. I've been over Stubbs. Stubbs is the same guy. We'll have the same Reese Hoskins love for him in like 2 or 3 years when JT's gone, and we might need another backup catcher. Well, I wonder what Stubbs is doing. Don't care.
Exactly. Team USA Hockey. I know Ricky's trying to probably get one. Shout out.
Is he?
He said he's going to hop one.
Oh, I'll keep my eye down there. I don't see him yet.
I know Papernick is out somewhere. I was just talking to him.
Okay.
Mikey P, shout you out.
Mikey P.
So, Team USA look good today.
Yeah, no, they look good. I mean, listen, I was like 8 o'clock in the morning kind of sucks, but at this point, I'll be live during that game at 9 a.m. So I might be talking about it live on Sunday.
You and the Beast, the Madman. Shout out Mike Laura.
Yeah, Mikey Laro. Yeah, so he'll be on with me as our normal Philly AM Sports, which starts at 9. So we'll be a little bit into the game. But it's supposed to have some sort of nor'easter, most likely. I'll believe it when I see it type moment with the snow, to be honest with you. I'll believe it when I see it.
I know you probably have other people, but I'll let you go.
We're good. You're all right. You can keep going. Unless you had something else, unless you had nothing else to say.
I do.
All right, what you got?
Eagles O-line coming back together.
Yep.
And I want Mikael Becton out from the Chargers to come home.
It will. Here's number one. Will he fit the new scheme? That's the number one question. Hell, will the guys we have fit the new scheme? I'm sure they can make those guys find something. When they're at their best, that's a damn good O-line right there. One of the best.
Yes.
When they're at their best and they're healthy. Mikael Becton helped win a championship. The question is, did he lose a step? And is that why he's getting by the Chargers, or did they? I mean, they didn't pay him a lot. It's not like they were overpaying him. I think he was paid at least just right. But does he fit the scheme? Is he healthy? Is he ready to go? And I wouldn't be against it. It makes sense, Joe. It does make sense. So I don't see any real reason not to disagree with you because we need some stability on that right side of the line, especially now with Lane coming back and hopefully fully healthy. That's a big thing there. Rob's saying he's with me. We'll see. We'll believe it when we see it. Now, from projections I've seen from the snow, I've seen as high as 12 inches and 14 inches. But I think Jersey and Southern Delaware is getting hit the most. So you and Rob might be in for it a little bit harder than us Delco and Philly.
I'm right over the Walt Whitman Bridge.
All right. Well, you're right. You're right on the borderline then with us.
Yeah,
Joe. Okay. Yeah, but that's as of right now. So I mean, I've seen so many projections from ABC and NBC weather and yada yada yada. Listen, man. Last time we had a snowstorm and I was on the air. I was with Maddie B. So that in my eyes was, you know, that turned out to be a good time. So maybe we'll do it again. This gives me one less thing to do. I still have the snow blower out. It's ready to go. If hopefully it's not as icy, because the last time that was the problem with the last one. We had so much
No,
sleet on top of the snow.
That's
The snow blower had to work double.
that's why I had a heart attack. I was in the hospital. I even called in on Matty
Yeah,
B's show from the hospital.
I remember. I remember. You're right. So, a little PSA for all you guys. I'm in the medical field.
Be careful.
I don't care if you're over the age of 40, even if you're under the age of 40, you put a lot of stress on your chest and heart with that, and you don't know it. Even with regular snow, when you're pushing the snow, when if you're moving wet and heavy
Stop
snow, it is. I don't care if you have a normal healthy heart. You can put a lot of stress on it. So be like super. Like if you have a snow blower, you have younger kids, or if you can afford to have somebody pay for you to pay to do it. It's worth it. Trust me, I found out. I've known a lot of people with your story, Joe. Oop, did I lose Joe? I might have lost Joe. You know what, Joe? So I'm gonna let you go anyway, Joe, because I do have somebody on the other line here. So, guys, that is Joe Hale, the man, Joe Hale. But good friend of mine. I've now been podcasting in some way, one way or the other, for a while now. I mean, 2010, 12, something like that. So, 15, 16 years, somewhere in that range. This guy's been following me ever since. From my Delco radio shows to my Philly sports shows. He's always been a great guy, a big supporter of mine, and a good friend as well. My man, Ian. What is going on, Ian?
Al, I don't hear you, brother.
You don't hear me?
Your mic's not working.
Hold on.
I'm not hearing you.
Let me see. It's coming up. It's registering. Anybody else out there not hearing you?
I'm still reading you off your lips. So, what I was going to get hit at the part was with the Eagles, who's the biggest guy do you want to see take off for this year? Because for me, I keep hearing Kyle Pitts' name. I'm seeing it as a possible substitute.
I don't think he'll be worth the money that he's going to.
Hold on. Let me try coming back in because for some reason I'm not picking you up on my side.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to remove you from the thing, and then I'll answer your question. Kyle Pitts, we need a blocking tight end, especially with what I think Mannion's going to look like. Or Mannion's team's going to look like, I should say. But Kyle Pitts is a very good offensive wide receiver, or offensive. All right, good. All right, so at least, all right, so I know it's not me. He's a very good offensive wide receiver, but he does not block. Kyle Pitts does not block, so I don't know if that would. Let me see. Ian's back. Let's give him a shot here.
Okay,
Ian,
now I'm hearing you. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it was on my side of the mic.
It must have been. Rob said he could hear me the whole time. So, answering your question is, I don't think Kyle Pitts is going to be worth the rub. And what I mean by that is I don't think he's going to be worth the money that he's going to garner because of the last couple of years that he had. And he doesn't block. And that's a big, big problem, I think, for the Eagles, especially with the O-line situation. If we can't get a blocking tight end in here, or at least a guy can do a half-decent job, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, the problem is how much is Dallas going to be wanting? Is he going to take the team-friendly option and say, hey, I know we can maybe win 1, 2, or possibly 3 Super Bowls within a 5 to 6 year period here, and that solidifies my resume for the Hall of Fame, or is he going to most likely what's going to end up being his agent saying, hey, I want the max?
Well, listen, when you're in the NFL or when you're in any professional sport, no, tomorrow is never given, right, Ian?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to probably try to get as much as you can.
Yep.
But, Joe had to take a work call. That's what he was saying. Okay, good, Joe. I'm just glad everything's all right. I was just making sure. But he had an All-Pro 2025 season, second team All-Pro 2025 season, 88 passes, 5 touchdowns. He could take off with a good offense. I think he could be even better on an offense like the Eagles. But if he can't block, I think he ends up back with the Falcons. And I'll tell you why. The Falcons will overpay for him because that's what they do. They pay for the skills positions, but they don't know what to do with the quarterback. They don't
have a quarterback.
It could be. I don't know. That's
Penix.
Penix is their quarterback, I would imagine right now.
I keep hearing like, Penix is like Mariota. He keeps getting hurt. Maybe we should draft on like
maybe a guy like Sam Howell or maybe like he gets a second chance in Atlanta. I don't know, but I can see him getting overpaid by the Commanders. That could be a landing spot for him. The Buccaneers love their skills players too. Baker Mayfield, I think, would do really well with a guy like Kyle Pitts, but I don't know if they would let him, go
over to a division rival. But also,
they don't have a choice. It depends on who's paying them more.
Also, the problem with Tampa is that he'll be a primary target because I think Mike Evans might be hopping out. So that'll be and I'm going to, as consistent as Mike Evans is with getting 1,000+ yards every single year, I have to pass on him. I can't because
he's injury prone,
and he can become a bit of a diva. I'm like,
listen. I can deal with a wide receiver diva. That's part of the game. A good wide receiver is going to be a diva. Even not great wide receivers are divas, to be honest with you, Ian. We've seen plenty of guys who are kind of mediocre or maybe a little better who've been divas. That just kind of comes with the game, especially. I mean, when you're the guy who's catching the touchdown passes, getting 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 yards in the season, it's coming with you. It comes with the diva. That's why I keep saying Devontae Smith. If I could have a team full of Devontae Smiths, even at his stature, I know some people are like, "Oh, we need a bigger guy. We need a solid body guy." He plays like a bigger guy, and he's a team first. Yes, coach, do whatever I need to do. He's not going to complain when he doesn't get his touches. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he could probably go 3 games without getting a pass thrown to him, and you probably won't even hear him go boo.
Yeah, I think we're still set also on wide receiver because I think Johnny Wilson's going to have another good, hopefully, knock on wood, since he came back from that season off that injury, he's still going to show with words. What he was showing us last year in the preseason. Like, he was showing us, like, really consistency, even in that god-awful Kevin Platua offense. He was shining. Mm-hmm. So I think there's going to be a massive growth here for someone who can actually be capable of it. Like, with being an offensive coordinator with McManaman. Everyone's saying, like, hey, he's really, really good. He could stay for the next 2 to 3 years, which is good for us because we got to now focus on our defensive head coach replacement.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least you have the year to figure that out. And I have a feeling it's going to be Clint Hurt or something like that for a defensive coach in the next year. But wide receiver, Mike Evans, in the sense, I think I see a guy like, listen, he's going to be 33, right? So he's definitely on the older end. So I see a team like the Patriots again. And why do I see the Patriots? They got the money. They got a quarterback who they really believe in, who needs a little redemption now after that Super Bowl kind of clunker.
The Bills. Huh? Because remember, Bills are also in win now mode. And
you're probably not wrong. Now, the question is, I know they saved some money. I think they restructured Josh Allen's contract a little bit. But what Mike Evans is going to command, if you're giving him a short contract, it's going to be a lot of money for a 33-year-old. So I could see that, even maybe a Seahawks, but or back to the Bucks. I mean, I could see those 3 possibilities, falling into that category.
Yeah, that's another thing I'm saying. But almost looking on the defense side, who can we get? I know Max Crosby's getting talked about. I would be down for it, but I also got to think about Jalen Carter. He's got the extension this year. First thing if I'm Howie is get his contract reset. No, not Jalen Carter. Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis has his 5th-year option, but that's the first thing I'm focusing on because he's still showing that in massive amount of improvements. So I want to get him signed, and I get Jalen Carter signed because those are the 2 guys I need to get re-signed first. That's what I'm focusing.
So I listen. I got a lot of flack online because I was throwing ideas around, and I said, and I said something to somebody earlier, either today or the other day. You got two guys you drafted year apart in Davis and Carter, right?
Mhm.
I know everybody's like, you got to sign both, but my question is, do you have to? Is there anything here? Hear me out on this. Is there anything wrong? Take Davis for instance. Davis is, I'm going to guess, is going to garner about $20 to $22 million a year, 4 years ish, right? I think about an $80 some million contract would seem about reasonable for him. Carter probably more into the $140 million a year or $140 million contract. They're both young, you know. That's why I said I could see them trading him, and I'll tell you why. I don't want you. I like Jordan Davis. I think he's really shown maturity. He got and stayed in much better health and shape, and the whole Peloton thing was a big thing for him. I would love to see him stay an Eagle, but you have to sign one of them. Most likely, it's going to be Jalen Carter, correct? If you had to pick between the two,
Yeah. The question
most
is, how much
likely.
is that guarantee, though? How much is that? No one was how. Is it going to be like 70% guarantee, 80% guarantee, 60%
I
guarantee?
would imagine he's going to be in this 70% guaranteed realm.
Yeah.
If it's 150 million, he's probably going to, or 140 million. I'm going to say about 90 million to 100 million guaranteed. It would be a reasonable, conversation for him. But if they sign Carter, can they sign Jordan Davis? Because that's 20 million plus whatever 30 million. It's $50 million locked up between two guys, right? But and I'm asking you is, Ian, is it terrible if you had a guy and got a good really good 4 years at you, one of them leading you to 2 Super Bowls and winning one of them, and then trading him at his peak? Because if Micah Parsons, in my eyes, can get you 2 first and a good player, is it hard to believe that Jordan Davis could do the same thing?
I could see possibly 2, maybe 2 as a conditional third first round picks, or yet with the player.
I don't think you'll get
the conditional.
3.
I said conditional.
Yeah, I don't think it's 3. I think you get 2 and either a good player or a fourth or fifth round pick after your 2 first. I don't think you're going to get 3 first or first and the second. I think that's going to be that would be a hard sell for Jordan, for anybody, to be honest with you. You would have to be a quarterback, I think, to get that.
That's what I'm hearing. What the Raiders are trying to get out of Crosby, like they want 2 firsts and a second.
Well, they have nothing to lose. They got nothing to lose, and that's which got me a little heat on Twitter. I don't know if you saw my tweet. I said about a week ago. It was right after last Sunday's show with Mike, and I said on the show, I said, if you wanted to get Crosby, and instead of having to give up a bunch of first round picks, you give up this year's first round pick, Jordan Davis, for Crosby, because you're going to get a huge defensive monster. You're going to lose with Jordan, but you have other places that can fill in for him, and you're only taking a first round pick instead of 2 or 3, which you don't want to give up because you need to get younger and more cost effective, right? So but I'm saying generally, not just Jordan Davis, but if you have a lot of guys to sign, you can only sign 1 or 2 of them, but you have top tier talent. Is it terrible that you get 4 good years out of a player and then trade them at their peak and get 2 first round picks in a player, or a really good player and a first round pick or something out of the deal?
The tricks devil advocate is, what pick is that going to be? Is it going to be like a top 10 pick? Is it going to be like a mid to lower round pick, like a playoff pick, basically?
Well, let me ask you a question. Anywhere in the top, if you get 2, anywhere in the first 30 picks, right, plus a player or a third or fourth round pick, you don't think we could turn that into something?
We can,
and you could take 2 first round picks and move up if you really wanted to go get some top tier player with that.
Yeah, and that's always tricky with the players as well. The question is dead cap as well, because I'm trying to see what other teams are going to go after him. Because you could go with, at this point, the St. Louis Bears, because I've been now hearing they're going to make a pitch to offer the Bears like a new stadium and everything. So that I'm going to find hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm throwing a guy offensive guard. You know what? I gotta say it. Bring back the Delconian with Jonah Jackson. That because with the O line still scares me. I could take that and a couple first round picks for Jordan Davis. Because no matter what, you still have to win the both sides of the ball. And I don't know what we're gonna get with Tyler Steen because he wasn't producing. And now Lander Dickerson's going, you know what? I just might just call it quits right now. So
well, listen, you have them back, and you got to hope that they get enough time to lick their wounds, and you get a year to figure it out. I think it's going to be. Here's the problem: if you're going to replace them, you can't really replace. It's hard to replace Landon Dickerson and Lane Johnson to begin with, but to replace them and let their guys sit for a year is even harder because that's 1 year off of your 5-year your first round pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or 4 year off the 4 years of your second round pick. You know,
but that's what the Eagles always do, and it seems to turn out. So, do I think it's going to be offensive guard this year? I'm going to say the draft, possibly, or offensive tackle. I see it within there. But like what I was saying, bringing back Joe Jackson, he's already been proven. Like he's been a mostly Pro Bowler. He did well against us. Like every time we played against him, like when either with he was on the Detroit, the Rams, he's got traded around a couple times because everyone wants him. And now with the Bears, you see him like as a very highly regarded player, and he'll take a pay cut. The guy because he just wants to play home. And that's the thing, like hometown kids, they always say, "Oh, I'll take a pay cut." So that's going to help us because then we also can focus on the bit of the backfield because that's still kind of concerning. Because I don't know what we're going to get with Adoree Jackson this year. I don't know if we're going to still get Blankenship. I like him to stay because he's constantly improving.
Let me ask you this question: it would make sense in the rhythm of what the Eagles do with this player, but would it be crazy if CJGJ comes back to the Eagles for us another time around because he's here, he's gone, he's here, he's gone,
and this is Super Bowl run. So it's possibility as long as he can keep his once again that ego check. But the other one is Slay.
He's not going to.
Slay's another one that
because
remember he turned down the Rams thing, not the Rams, the Bills. He says, "No, I want to go. I want to stay. I want to go down to Philly." He turned down the entire Bills thing. Like, wait, what? Bills fans were like, "Why was he turning us down?" Because he wanted to come back to Philly. Him and Slay.
Listen, Slay's. Thank you for your time, but I'm well over Slay. Like, no,
he doesn't have to be get all the reps, but I can say 20 to 40% on a good team deal. Like he can get a bunch of the reps, and he's like that veteran leader that, hey, everyone knows, everyone is comfortable. He knows the system, and it clicks as well. So I can.
How about a cost-effective guard in Isaac Seumalo? Does Isaac Seumalo come back to the Eagles?
My problem with Isaac, he was always not the most consistent as well. Like I see Landon much more higher up in like value-wise than Isaac because I was on the seeing Isaac out.
I agree with you, but I'm saying, listen, the Eagles got to be smart with their money. Maybe a Tevin Jenkins, could be a guy you would see where they could cost effectively fill in the gap. Who else is out there? There's Davis Edwards.
There's Becton as well. That's a going as long as it's a team friendly deal. Question is how many contracts we have to restructure. I think we can restructure Lane Johnson's
he's I think you're in this last year with him, so I don't know how much and they already restructured him like a couple times. So Lane might not be able to be restructured at this point.
Then it has to be Jordan Mailata. I think there's a bunch of guys who would restructure to bring him back as well. But like you said, there's also.
I wonder now. This would be expensive, but Tyler Linderbaum could be a good O-line, but he's going to carry a big fee with him. And if you know that this is Landon's last year, he could play center. He could play guard probably as well, just as well. Do you need to wear, like, our depth is an issue. Like, he's probably going to be the most highest paid free agent O-line.
If he's going to be going strictly on pay, then I think New England is going to snag him or the Seahawks, because watching that Super Bowl, like, no one really had a dominant O-line presence. It was just, especially for New England, like, this is like not like the most boring game I've seen compared to last year's, where I was enjoying every second of it, just out of pure domination, but everyone else was enjoying it because it was that game where the Chiefs needed their behinds whooped, and what was happening. This year's was not that case. So I think if they're going to go for a high price O-lineman, it's going to end up being New England or Seattle. So I think he doesn't get the qualification.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, there's a lot of options out there. Hey, if Dallas Goedert doesn't come back, do we get another Kelsey? No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
The one person who might push for it would ironically be Jason say, "Hey, do you want to come back over to the Eagles?"
Last thing I want is him. He's 37 years old. He don't block. No, thank you. All right.
And you got to worry about the Swifties as well. Like,
no, there's another reason not to want to. All right, Ian. You have a great one. I always appreciate it, my friend.
All right. Catch you there, man.
Take it easy. Ian Fitzmyer, my man. I think Eagles go draft someone in the second round. Well, yeah, who? Like, are you talking about a offensive lineman? Are you talking about a tight end? There's always that possibility. If they're trying to make a push this year, they're going to need to solidify things. And I just would love to know what Dallas Goedert's going to command, and can the Eagles even make that a possible option for him? I mean, he's making, I think, $6 million currently or something like that a year, however that works out, or $10 million. I don't know, but he's 31. So he's going to want to get about 4 or 5 years. And do they want to pay that? That's going to be a big question. You're saying offensive lineman in the second round? I wouldn't be surprised if it's the first round, Joe, if they go for offensive lineman. They got to look at the safety and the secondary a little bit. I think if free agency, if they bring anybody back, Jalen Phillips is going to be the guy. They're going to make sure he gets back. There's a lot of moving and shaking that the Eagles are going to have to do in this offseason, which is going to make it interesting. It's going to make free agency interesting. I'm just kind of looking at their free agents now. I know Grant Calcaterra, goodbye. I'm over you, Grant Calcaterra. Sam Howell, Ben Van Summeren. I don't know what they do with him. Marcus Epps, no thank you. I mean, he's 30? He's like 30. Yeah, 30 years old. So, I mean, Brett Toth, no. Nakobe Dean. I don't know. It depends on what he's going to be trying to get in, not Lane Johnson, Fred Johnson. I don't think A.J. Dillon's back. Matt Pryor, goodbye. See you later. Dory Jackson. Josh Usay. Brandon Mann. I think they signed him back, I believe. Brandon Graham. Jahad Dotson. I mean, he's 25. He's probably going to get so is Hay somewhere else to get more play time, more receptions. Azeez Ojulari. I think, like I said, I think Jalen Phillips is coming back. Reed Blankenship, if his cost is what I think it's going to be, I think maybe somebody might overpay a little bit for him, but I think he's back possibly with the Eagles. Dallas Goedert, those are the big ones we got to watch out for. Eagles need to find someone to replace Lane Johnson next year. I mean, that's going to be a big question. I mean, that's going to be an absolute big question. But do they do it now or do they do it later? That's all to be seen, my friend. We won't know. But with that being said, guys, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. Let's just be better, be better fans. Let's just be better and stop wishing and pining over things from the past that really weren't that good to begin with. Really, we romanticize about those things. But Eagles, got the Phillies starting this weekend. We got the gold medal hockey game on Sunday morning. I know the Sixers are back. Who cares? Because it's the same old injured Embiid. All that kind of Sixers are letting you down. There's no big whoop there. But big weekend. You got your first spring training games tomorrow and one on Sunday. I think they're both on NBC Sports, so this should be fun. Rob, thank you as always. I will, follow me on Twitter at Big Al Sports with a Z. I'm probably going to be tweeting during some of this Philly stuff. I'm pumped. You know me. I love my baseball. Because it's like that. All right, football's over. We got this little gap. Baseball's here. Yay! Free agency, NFL draft. Just amazing times. And if the Flyers could just get some playoff hockey in this town, that would be amazing. But other than that, guys, thank you for being awesome as always. I appreciate you. You guys know that. I know I wouldn't do this without you. Thank you to everybody. I will see you on Sunday at 9 a.m. with my boy Mike Laro for Philly AM Sports with Al and Mike. Don't forget the rest of the week. I think Matt said he is on tomorrow night or Sunday night, so that should be interesting. But I think his game got pushed because of the weather or whatever. But other than that, guys, I want to thank you. Take it easy, be safe, and like I said earlier, if you can have somebody else shovel your snow, especially if you're over the age of 40, please do so. Be careful out there. I'll talk to you guys next time.